Do people in Canada have cable, like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the NordCast. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. I am your host here, Nordic 97, joined with Carter and just Carter for today. How we doing?
Doing pretty good here. As people can tell, I have a Jets jersey on because...
Oh, no, I can.
There's... Okay, cool.
Which is
I don't know if you can tell. I got a Jets jersey on. I'm going to the Jets-Sens game here in a little bit. So I'm on a crazy time crunch here. So we're going to get everything out fast. None of this, spitballing mumbo jumbo. It's just going to be pure facts, and we're going to move on because, I got to go.
Yeah, just had some lag go down there. So, you just, really bugged on my screen. I'm like, what is happening right now? And, you were talking without audio. Anyway. All right, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about here. 2 massive trades have went down since the last time we recorded a podcast episode. First off, Quinn Hughes is no longer in Vancouver. He is in Minnesota. And they have traded away Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, Zeev Boyum, and a 2026 first-round pick to the Vancouver Canucks. Wow. I was a little bit shocked by this. So we knew Quinn Hughes was probably going to get traded. I think the expectation was that was going to happen. But we didn't know that it would be on a Friday night like it was that night. Such an unbelievable deal. Just Carter, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this trade?
Yeah, so I was actually at bowling with a bunch of my buddies, and one of my buddies is a Canucks fan. So we were talking about it earlier in the day. We were talking about Quinn Hughes, and we were going grabbed food, and we're bowling or whatever. And I tell him, I'm like, holy shit, Quinn Hughes just got traded to Minnesota. He's like, actually? I'm like, yeah. And I didn't think Minnesota was a team that they were a team that never even crossed my mind, to be honest, as a team that could potentially go out and get Quinn Hughes. But when you think of Marco Rossi was a guy who's been linked to Vancouver already. You look at Zeev Boyum, who's having a pretty solid year, and they already have Brock Faber, so it's like they can give up, a young defenseman because they have Brock Faber, right? So it makes a lot of sense actually when you kind of think of it. And Ogren's been kind of, he's just got to score, right? That's kind of the biggest thing with him. But honestly, looking at the return that Vancouver got, I was like, man, this is pretty awesome. This is a great return, honestly, for Vancouver. Obviously, it sucks losing, Quinn Hughes. But, I mean, with looking at what you got back, you got Zeev Boyum, who's been, he's an unbelievable player when it came to him being in college hockey. And he always performed, on World Junior stages and in big tournaments, right? He always showed up. He's a national champion, right? Right? Denver won when he was there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it was a shocker.
I like the return there.
It was a shocker deal.
He's going to be a good
and I
player.
look at how Hughes was with Vancouver prior. You could tell he was on his way out. To be honest with you, you could tell that he was on his way out, and he was ready to leave Vancouver. And again, the return that they got back is pretty good. Rossi, good number 2 center in my eyes. Zeev Boyum, I don't think he's going to be like a Quinn Hughes level player. But I do think he could be a very good number 1 defenseman or a number 2 at worst, in my opinion. I said he could be a number 2 at best, but in the MVP. But I actually think that he could be a number 1 guy eventually. You also have a guy like Liam Ogren there as well, who struggled to produce, like you did say. Had no points with Minnesota. Only had 9 and 40 career games played as a first-round pick, and then also a 2026 first-round pick came in that deal as well. So, a great return there for Vancouver regardless, and with the expectations that Vancouver has had numerous times before, with how obviously they've struggled to, have good returns back, this is a pretty good return. What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, I kind of already touched base on it a bit with Zeev Buium. He's unreal. Marco Rossi, he just needs to play with a little bit of confidence, right? I think he can be a good 60 to 70 point guy, kind of consistently throughout his career with a little bit more of defensive upside. And then Ogren too, he's just got to score. I think that he's a guy that you can put on the ice reliably. And I think that one of the things that I was hearing about him is just once he gets hot, he'll be hot, and he'll be great for kind of the rest of their year there. And then we'll see what happens with that first round pick. Obviously, it's a pretty good draft class, as we kind of touch base on kind of the top prospects last episode with me, so 2 episodes ago. You looked at some of the top guys, and there were some players down the list, and I'm like, man, these guys could also like see their stocks rise too here. So I think we got a pretty good draft class. If you're getting a first round pick in this class, I think you're going to be pretty happy with whatever player you do end up selecting. And I mean, Vancouver's done a pretty good job of drafting and developing some of their guys. I mean, you look at Quinn Hughes, I know he was like a top pick, but at the same time, like he developed into one of the best defensemen in the NHL, right? Elias Pettersson, he was, again, another top pick, but he turned into, for a season or 2 there, he was one of the best goal scorers in the NHL, right? He played with so much skill, was able to make great plays. So I'm excited to see, how Vancouver is going to develop some of these young guys that they have, Buium, Ogren, and Rossi. But I think that the future looks very bright for Vancouver. And honestly, I'd be very happy with the return that they ended up getting.
Yeah. Again, what's crazy with this whole situation is we found out that Quinn Hughes would not re-sign long-term with Vancouver until back in 2024. When the Oilers beat them in 7 games. Quinn Hughes informed Rutherford at that time that he wouldn't sign long-term. So essentially Rutherford knew this, that he wasn't going to stay for like 2 years. That was like 2 years ago almost at this point, April of 2024. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how we've gone down this path and how the Canucks have kind of fallen from grace here. Maybe with those whole locker room problems we discussed last year, maybe the people we were talking about weren't the problem. Maybe it was just Quinn Hughes being a poor leader because he didn't even want to be here. He didn't even want to be here from what we could tell. And again, like I look at it from Minnesota's side. They get a number 1 defenseman who is going to be incredible. What are the problems right now that outline with Minnesota? And I look at it and I say the biggest problem for me is that center depth. That center depth is not good enough.
Yeah, I'll have to take a quick look at their center depth here. But I know that that was one of the things that I was kind of hearing is like their center depth isn't, the most amazing kind of thing. But I mean, it's also not like the worst thing that they kind of have, right? I think that their wing depth is very, very good. Tarasenko, Kaprizov, Boldy, Hartman can sometimes play down there, but he's kind of been playing more of that center role. Zuccarello's out, Foligno's out, Hinostroza's been all right. And I mean, I think that that's something that they still have, time to address, right? There's definitely time for them to address it. We're not even at the trade deadline yet. We're still so far out. And so I think that Minnesota's definitely not done. We're going to see what they end up doing, kind of with the rest of the guys that they got, and we'll see what they end up doing. We'll see what happens with that Brody contract is just kind of
so the way I see
it, bit that he's not playing.
Yeah, so the way I see it, like that center depth has to improve. You can't be riding with the guys they currently have. I do know they have injuries. Yes, I'm not going to deny that, and the fact that they're still playing pretty well. In light of that, what I think about when I look at Minnesota, like they need to improve their depth. Like no matter how you look at it, that needs to be better. When you look at the Colorados and the Dallases of this league, and not just this league but this division, do you look at that depth that Colorado and Dallas have compared to Minnesota's, and you say, yeah, Minnesota's could beat Dallas's in a 7-game playoff series? Because right now, if the season ended today, and I have a good feeling that this is going to be a matchup anyway, Dallas would play Minnesota in the first round. Do you look at this right now and look at that forward core and that center depth? Do you say that I can beat Dallas right now?
No, probably not.
Yes. The changes need to be made there at that. And they're going to make changes. Guerin has already said in his conference that he is ready to go out and make more changes and go all in, because this is the type of move you make when you're ready to go all in. Kaprizov is on that long-term extension. Obviously, he'll be here for a while. But this is a Minnesota Wild team that has their mixes of young guys, but they traded away a lot of their pool. The way I looked at Minnesota before this deal was that they were going to be really good, but they weren't there yet because a lot of the guys they were drafting, like Buyam, Rossi, Ogren, they hadn't met their prime yet. And now that they trade those guys away for Quinn Hughes, they are signifying they want to go all in now. So everything should be on the line. First-round picks, prospects, even the young guys, some of them should be on the line here available for trade. You got to go all out here. You have Quinn Hughes for a year and a half, maybe more, but you got to go all in.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. The hard part with them is looking at, kind of like their AHL kind of pool, and I mean some of their prospects too, I guess. They don't really have a lot of like names, big names that you could kind of spend to go get these types of like high-end players, right? I mean, you could look at, Danila Yurov. He's playing on their first line right now with Kaprizov and Tarasenko. He's probably their biggest asset right now that could be a potential trade piece, right? So as far as like their young guys are concerned, they still have picks. So I don't think that, they're completely out of it. They don't have their first or second this year, and they don't have their second next year. They still have their first round pick for 27 if they want to try and go out and make something happen, but they will need to do something with their salary cap. Like they'll have to send money out because right now they have $824,000 just sitting there in cap space right now. So we'll see what happens with them here. I think they'll get a little bit of cap relief once some of their defensemen start coming back, like Middleton and Brodin. Once those guys start getting back into the lineup here, because then they'll start getting those minor contracts out. Like Hunt will end up going down. Yurchek maybe will go down, right? So we'll start to see things, work their way around there for them. But in the meantime, it might be Minnesota's time to start buying.
Yeah, they're going to have to get creative for sure. Not a lot of cap space, not a lot of options out there, really, it feels like right now. There's not a ton of sellers, so you're going to have to sell big or buy big, I guess is the way you're going to have to say it. What needs to happen for Quinn Hughes to say, yes, I will sign an extension here? What needs to happen?
I think Minnesota's got to make at least second round. However, I will say that I was listening to Third Two Thoughts today, and Elliot Friedman was talking about Quinn Hughes's presser, like one of his first pressers in Minnesota, where he was talking about who's the Bill Guerin? Yeah,
Bill Guerin.
He was talking about how thankful he was that Bill Guerin, gave up so many young pieces to go out and get him, and how he was so appreciative of it. How he was like, not a lot of teams would, be comfortable giving up, so many of their young up and coming players, but Billy was excited to do it or something along those lines. And he wanted to get this done, and he seemed very grateful for it. And Elliot said he was told not to take that lightly, that was serious. And I think that that's something that, Wild fans should see and be like, whew. And I think that that's a good sign already looking at it. He's from Michigan, right? Which I don't think is too far away, kind of from Minnesota.
That's not
in
that
a
far
sense.
away.
Like it's all kind of in like Midwest territory there, so he's already pretty close to home as well. So I think that that's definitely something that kind of helps benefit him as well. Obviously, the thing with him and playing with his brothers is not going to go away. That's going to be something that's going to be consistently happening for rumored till the end of time. If they get to 40 and they haven't played together, it's still going to be talked about every single year, right? And so we'll see what happens with there. I think I was hearing that people are wondering if he is going to sign maybe a 3-year extension somewhere. whether it's, Minnesota or something, because Jack Hughes' contract will end up whenever this 3-year extension, if he were to sign a 3-year extension, him and Jack would both be UFAs and then could go somewhere together and play. I think that that's a little bit crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if Quinn's going to go anywhere, he's going to sign a long-term deal. But I'm pretty sure that if he were to do that, sign the 3-year deal, I think at the end of this one, he becomes 28, maybe.
That's pretty wild speculation that Jack Hughes would leave.
So,
or did you say Luke? Yeah. Which one did you say?
No. It'd be Jack. It'd be Jack, because Jack would be a UFA. I don't think Jack would leave the Devils. There's no way. Like, I think that's just huge speculation, but it'd be pretty funny to see both Hugheses be UFAs at the same time.
That would be interesting. I just can't see that happening, though. I don't think Jack would leave New Jersey. I am going to agree. It really does seem very likely because he has a year and a half left. Like, it's this year and then next year of being on that current contract. I have a feeling that, like, they're going to move him. He's going to leave Minnesota and come to New Jersey. That's really what I'm thinking with this. But for him to stay in Minnesota, playoff success has to be it. You got to win in the playoffs. And you probably have to go, like, third round, to be honest with you. You see how Vancouver made it to Game 7 of the second round, and Quinn Hughes was still like, I don't want to be here. So I wonder if, like, they really need to figure that out, and they need to build this team up so they can go that far and get to that point. It's a really interesting tidbit. It's going to be a fun thing to follow here. But again, they're not in an easy division. You have Dallas, you have Colorado, you have Winnipeg, who is on the come up. You have Utah, who is there as well. It's a deadly, deadly division. And I would still say, like, if you were to rank the teams in that Central Division, how would you rank them?
Like, as far as what, currently?
How good they are currently as a team and overall.
Okay, well, if I was to, Colorado would probably be my 1. Dallas would probably be my 2. However, I do think that Dallas, I think that Dallas will end up being the Central Division 1 by the end of the year.
You think so? Okay.
I like the trajectory they've been on recently. So, do you want me to do, like, prediction for, like, where I think they'll kind of end up just based on, like, the rest of the season or something?
I mean, like, how would you rank them as, like, how good of a team they are? Not based on, like, season, but, like, you look at their team, like, how good they are. I did a horrible job.
Yeah. Okay, probably Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Winnipeg. That'd be the top 4. And then I think you could go Utah, Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville.
Yeah, so Minnesota for you was still that third best team in this division, even with the acquisition of Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, I mean, I think that their D-core is probably one of the best in the Central. I think that, it could probably rival Colorado's, I'd say.
I think getting Quinn Hughes makes it the second best in the conference.
I don't think that's even crazy to say. Who would you have at 1?
Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, Dallas is Heiskanen. Like, I think, like, outside of Heiskanen, Lindell, and Harley, like, I don't think it's, like, the greatest in the world. I would argue it's better than Dallas's. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy.
I mean, I think that's a little crazy just because, like, I kind of look at Taves and Makar, right, as, like, their big 2, and then their 3 being Josh Manson. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think top 3 wise, I kind of like. I guess they still have Cale Makar.
Nah, I go with Colorado still. Makar,
I don't know. I think
been in the league.
Yeah.
You have Taves there as his partner. Josh Manson's been very good. Sam Malinsky's been great. Gerard's been great. Brent Burns has been a good actor there too.
I guess.
And then I would go Minnesota because they have a great top 4. Dallas, like, I think, like, they have a really good top 3. Their bottom 3, though, like, I'm not very big on it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I kind of like Labushkin a bit, though. So
yeah, he's all right. I mean, again, like, you want to look at the Pacific. Like, I don't think any Pacific team really comes close. I'm not gonna lie, like maybe Vegas would be there. Anaheim.
Probably Vegas. That's like about it.
Yeah, but like I don't really see another one coming close to that. So, anywho, they'll probably make the Stanley Cup final. Now that I say that, one of the teams that I mentioned, Oilers, well, because it's the Oilers. But anyway, that's the Quinn Hughes trade. It's a good transition over from the Canucks to the Oilers because they made a trade, and this is a very interesting one. So they traded Stuart Skinner and Brett Kulak to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for Tristan Jarry and Sam Poulin. So finally, Stuart Skinner, that era is done in Edmonton. And Tristan Jarry, his era has now started in Edmonton. What do you feel about this? What are you thinking?
Man, they gave up a good amount to go get Tristan Jarry. I'm going to be honest, man. I did not think that was what a Tristan Jarry price was going to be for a guy who's been on waivers last year.
I want to say this. He was on waivers last year, and they traded him away for 2 expiring players. Guys they can just let walk at the end of the year.
And a second-round pick. It's crazy. Pittsburgh, heck of a deal. Kyle Dubas, take a bow. Being able to get a guy that you were trying to put off waivers twice last season and turn him into 2 expiring contracts and a second-round pick. And I mean, you could even do something with Kulak because, I mean, Kulak was pretty good for Edmonton during their cup runs. Like, he was still good. He's 31 years old, so it's like, you know what, he's old and we're trying to get younger. But, I mean, he'd be a guy that you could keep on a pretty decent contract, too. Like, you could probably keep him for 3, maybe less.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not far-fetched to say the Penguins have a lot of guys in their blue line. Not that any of them are very good, but they have a lot of bodies on their blue line. Like, honestly, they could just let those 2 guys walk and be done with it. Like, they have a ton of goalies in their system. Yoel Blomqvist, Artur Shilovs, not Levshinov. Sergei Murashov's been really good. He was down with Pittsburgh or with Wilkes-Barre. I think like the Penguins, like this is perfect for them. They get rid of cap space. I think it's a slam dunk deal for them. Like I think overall they probably win the trade. We'll see what happens with Jarry though with Edmonton. Jarry's been good this year statistically. I think he has a 909. He's been good overall. However, on the contrary to that, I say not a lot of playoff success. Last year he was in the minors for like a good portion of the year, which I think is crazy. Would you say this is an upgrade?
Yeah, I think that it'd probably be a decent upgrade as far as the confidence side, because I think that Stuart Skinner relied a lot on him being good, and if he had a bad game, that it really would get to him and it would get to like the Edmonton fans.
I agree. I agree with that.
So
statement.
I think that mentally, I think this will help the Oilers a lot better. Now, is Jarry going to perform in the playoffs like how Stuart Skinner was? I don't know, right? Stuart Skinner is, third among active goalies in playoff wins right now or something like that. He's like top 5 at least. So as far as playoff success, I'm not exactly sure where it will kind of lead. But I think that for the mentality and the mental side of not getting down on themselves from a Oilers player standpoint, management standpoint, and fan standpoint, I think that this is probably a better upgrade, because now you can't say, oh, well, we just left it with Stuart Skinner. Like, if we lose, it's because Skinner. It's like, no, they tried. They went out, they got a goalie. They got a goalie that you guys were probably wanting to. You're probably like, oh, Tristan Jarry, he's got to be available. Like, let's go out and get Tristan Jarry. But it's going to come down to, is he going to perform in the playoffs? Because that's the hardest thing to do. Like, we see some of the best goalies in the NHL not be able to do it. Connor Hellebuck is a prime example of it. Guy came off an MVP season, and he got pulled twice, 2 or 3 times in the postseason. Playoff success matters, and you need a goalie who has that playoff mindset. When you look at Jordan Binnington too, like, he's not always the best in the regular season, but you bet your ass if you get yourself in the playoffs, he will perform. And so that's what it's going to come down to for Edmonton, right? Is are we going to get a playoff Tristan Jarry who performs, or are we going to get Stuart Skinner 2.0, right? So we'll have to see when April comes around.
Are we going to get the Jarry that we've seen where he's just giving up passes against the Islanders, or are we going to actually see a confident Jarry? I don't know. I'm a little bit shocked they traded Skinner. Like, I figured you could have gotten away with just trading away Pickard. Because Skinner, at least, like, he can have his moments, but he's wildly inconsistent.
Which I think is the reason why he's the one who went. Because it's like, well, Pittsburgh's probably like, well, we've seen him be consistent. Like, everyone knows what Pickard is, right? Pickard's a backup. We can leave it at that. We can settle it. But Stuart Skinner shows flashes where, okay, he looks like a competent starter. No, he looks like a backup. Oh, he looks like a competent starter again, and AHL. Like, it's a roller coaster, and it's just about finding that one thing that can get him to be a starter. And I think that's kind of something that could have intrigued Pittsburgh, because I think Pickard was originally the one who was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. And they were trying to get that done, but obviously it couldn't go. And I think that Skinner and I guess maybe Kulak or the pick or whatever might have changed it. But I think that Skinner had to be the goalie that was going to Pittsburgh there. I think if this deal was going to get done, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong. But
yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's one of those things where like you have to just see how it performs, how it goes. But honestly, we'll see what happens there with Edmonton and being able to see if this is the way it's going to go. I have no clue, to be honest with you. Anyways, we also have another trade to discuss. It does involve the Oilers too, where they acquired Spencer Stastny from the Nashville Predators in exchange for a third-round pick. Carter, do you know who Spencer Stastny is? No? You can just be honest. No.
That's about all you're going to get out of him. Fun. I know I didn't really know too much about him. He's a D-man, so, I mean, I guess it helps when you trade away Kulak, so.
Yeah, third pairing defenseman. He's young, though.
Yeah, he's 25, so, I mean, not bad.
Yeah,
he's pick for him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's younger than Kulak, for sure. So I did want to bring that up, of course. Kevyn Adams is gone. Kevyn Adams is no longer in Buffalo. He has been fired, and Jarmo Kekalainen has been named the Sabres general manager. He was previously the GM of the Blue Jackets. So, Carter, I got some stats I want to read off for you, but I do want to ask you first, what are your thoughts on this change?
How long has Kevyn Adams been in Buffalo?
2021, so like 4 years.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they've kind of been in like a weird spot where it's like, it almost reminds me of Philly in a sense, right? Where they never fully committed to a rebuild. And they just kind of like, they would like trade pieces and it's like, hey, we're going into a rebuild. It'd start to trend a little bit upwards and then it'd go down. It's like, okay, wait, they got some young players and everything goes down and we're trading away JJ Peterka. But we got Josh Doan. He's looking like a good player, which, I mean, he is. I'm not going to say that that's where this thing's going to start to take a dive. But, I mean, look, man, it's unfortunate for Kevyn Adams, but, I mean, we'll see what happens with them here. I kind of like the roster that they have cooked up right now. And I think that, you know, he'll come in and he'll make some great moves here and see what he can do to put Buffalo back on the map.
Yes. So I look at this and I say it was the right move getting rid of Adams. So I do want to read this stat off here real quick. This is the first general manager they've brought in who has had prior experience to working with the Sabres since Scotty Bowman in 1979. That's how long. They've always hired first-time guys. Which the fact that they made, like, cup finals with that is crazy. Like, 1979, like, that was pretty much, like, 10 years into their existence. Like, that's, like, 50 years almost of guys who have been hired, like, first-timers. The fact that they've been to cup finals and had successful teams is crazy. Wow. Jarmo coming in, though. I mean, Jarmo with Columbus, at least they made the playoffs a few years, but they never did anything in them. As well as that, too, they sold all of their future for one playoff win back in 2019, and they've never been back since. They made it in 2020. They lost in 5, and then they haven't been back since. And currently, right now, the Blue Jackets are also pretty bad again. Carter, what do you think of Kekalainen?
I mean, time will tell, right? I don't want to jump on it too quickly here. I think that he's walking into a situation where, it's so hard to say, to be honest, right? Because, I mean, oh man, I don't even know what to really say here. Because, I think it's hard to say how Buffalo fans are truly feeling. Because you want to say, oh, it's a new GM, they'll give him a little bit of grace. Will they? I don't know. I don't know. They've been without playoffs for so long, so it's kind of just hope and pray that they can I guess succeed in a sense, and hope that things go well for Kekalainen. So I don't know. I don't know how long of a leash he's going to have. I think that hopefully he's given some grace. They have a lot of young pieces. They have guys that they can re-sign. They have guys that they can trade, right? And so we'll have to see what Buffalo can do here. Are they going to keep, Alex Tuch? He's on an expiring deal, right? Are they going to keep, a lot of these guys, right? It's a new GM. We don't know how he's feeling. He might not have the same relationship that, Kevyn Adams had with some of those players. So we'll have to see what happens there, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you. I look at Kekalainen. I think only time will tell. Yes, he wasn't that great in Columbus, but I will say this. I believe that just because you were bad somewhere else doesn't mean you'll be bad in other places. I will say that. Now, again, that it does sound a little bit weird me saying that, but you can be bad somewhere else, learn from those struggles, and then come back to it. So I think that we'll see what happens here, obviously. It's not a great hire, but it's not the worst hiring they could have done. At least they hired somebody with experience this time. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, it's good. You got a guy who's done it once before, and he's brought them to the playoffs at least. So it's more than any GM that Buffalo could say for the last billion years.
One more stat I want to bring up here. Since Terry Pegula bought the Sabres in February of 2011, 5 GMs, Kekalainen's the 6th, 8 head coaches, including 2 Lindy Ruff tenures, 28 goalies with 1 game played. This is the craziest one. 7 captains. Listen, there are a lot of captains on most teams' histories, but this is 15 years we're talking about here.
It's 7 every captains? 2 years.
7 captains. That's crazy. I can't even name. I can only name you Eichel, Okposo, Dahlin. I don't even know the other 4.
Oh my god!
First round pick and no playoff appearances.
You said he bought them in 2011?
Yes.
Okay, so what month?
February.
So as soon as he got there, he stripped Craig Rivet, or he traded him or something. Because I'm looking at it right now. In February 2011, Craig Rivet lost his captaincy. And then it goes Pominville, Vanek, Steve Ott. Both were in October, so we'll go Steve Ott, Brian Giunta, Jack Eichel, Kyle Okposo, and then Rasmus Dahlin. Wow, that is ridiculous. I find that so funny about the team February 2011 and Craig Rivet loses his captaincy.
I'm trying to figure out how he lost his captaincy. I'm trying to look it up. Buffalo captaincy. I wonder if he was just traded or something. That's probably what it was.
Oh, he's placed on waivers due to ongoing issues.
He was placed on waivers? You placed your captain on waivers? Jesus Christ. This is so Buffalo. Oh my God.
He was traded for a 7th round pick.
Holy crap. Holy crap. You want to read off their coaches, Carter? I have their coaches pulled up here.
I don't have their coaches pulled up.
So you have Lindy Ruff for the first 2 years of Pegula coming in. You have Ron Rolston, who was the head coach for literally what's February to November? That's 7 months, 8 months. Like that's
yeah,
a little more than that. Anyway,
9.
Ted Nolan, who was previously a coach from 2013 to 2015, Dan Balsma, who was the coach of Seattle, Phil Housley, Ralph Kruger, Don Granato, and then guess what? You're back to Lindy Ruff.
It's hilarious.
Jesus Christ. And how long until Lindy Ruff gets fired?
I don't know. He's got to be on a short leash.
That's what I'm asking myself. But yeah, Buffalo, disastrous. We'll see if they change here, though. Okay, we have jerseys to react here. The Stadium Series jerseys have released. Me and Jack talked about a leaked photo on Friday, but now we're going to go over the actual Stadium Series jerseys. So we'll start off with Tampa Bay's. Carter, what do you think about this jersey?
Honestly, I like the look of the logo. That's pretty cool with like the lightning graphic in it.
I hate the wording. I like the detail in the middle of it, but I hate the wording. I hate wording jerseys.
That's fair. I like the like cool like. I mean, you're not gonna be able to see it on the ice. It's a cool little detail that like you probably get with like the fan jerseys or something like that, with like the skull and like the lightning bolts, right? Like that's pretty cool. But like we're not gonna see that. And I kind of honestly like if you were to take away and I couldn't see the graphics, I'd be like, those jerseys are kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's just it's really like the details in it are all right. The details in it are okay, but it's just like you can't even see that on the ice. First of all,
I want to see if the numbers will have like the cool lightning bolts on the back, because that'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty cool. I'm not big on this wording though. I'm not big on the wording jerseys. I think the only team that can rock it is the Rangers. Like I don't done so much better here in my.
I don't like the abbreviation. I think Tampa Bay across would have looked cool, but then you wouldn't be able to get the lightning graphic on it, right?
Yeah,
which is fair, but I don't know. I think they're all right. If I was a Tampa fan, I wouldn't be excited about it too much.
Here is Boston's. A lot of yellow, as per usual.
Yeah, I hate this yellow.
You hate the yellow? I
don't like it. It looks. This is piss yellow. Like
it is.
It's happened in a lot of jerseys. This is piss yellow. I like the logo. The logo's cool. I always like that like old school logo where it looks like this could be on some sort of like sweater, right? I like that. I like the cool like I like how they did cool little details, like small things that like the human eye can't really pick up from far away, but like when you look at the jersey up close, that's a cool little thing they have right above the elbow. Also, did you see the gloves the Bruins are wearing for these?
I did not. What are the gloves?
They are all white.
Hang on, I'll look them up so I can get a photo on screen.
They are all white gloves. They released Tampa's as well. But for Boston's, they are all white gloves, and it looks,
gosh.
It looks, honestly, I kind of like it. I like the thought of it.
Here, I'm pulling it up on screen. I didn't get it onto a separate tab. I just Googled Bruins Stadium Series gloves.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It does match all right. Why in these photos does it like it looks like a milk white? It doesn't look like white.
Yeah, it looks like
I don't know. Like a darker white for some weird reason. What's Tampa's gloves?
It shows it a few posts down.
Oh, it did show them a few posts down?
Right there. Yeah, you can see them right there.
Oh yeah, they're
kind of lame. I like how Boston tried to do something different with the gloves. Like
yeah, at least they tried that.
That'll be pretty sick. All white gloves. Ew.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. A couple quick hits here before we wrap up. First off, Quinn Hudson was called up today by the Oilers. He's been phenomenal in the American Hockey League.
Shout out.
Quinn Hughes has been great. Or Quinn Hudson. Quinn Hudson has been great. Another Hudson brother. He's likely going to be up with the Oilers. I think they play tomorrow, so he'll be there, obviously. And then there was something, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. We did bring it up last episode. The Winnipeg Jets were trying to obtain the 1.0 records. So we discussed it in our previous episode, me and Jack.
I wasn't there.
But I wanted to get your view on it since you're a Jets fan. What do you think about that?
It'd be cool to have because it is Winnipeg, but it's not the same franchise in a sense, right? Because technically they were moved over to Atlanta. It'd be trying to think of how I would be able to. It'd be as if Arizona got a new team and then tried to obtain all the records back.
So would we nullify, like, the Thrashers records are included with the Jets? If you were to do this, you would nullify the Thrashers records and just like get rid of those.
And then what would happen with the Thrashers would just be like, are the Nordiques records included in Colorado's?
Yes, they are. It's really
you can't take it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love it. It'd be awesome if we could get the Jets 1.0 records, but I don't think that we would be able to just because it's not the same franchise, right? But
Jets
you never
fans,
know. It would be nice.
Some Jets fans think that since the Mammoth got to like reset their franchise but get the same players, they think that they should be able to obtain the records and such. I think that's very interesting.
We'll see.
But we'll see what happens with that, obviously.
I'd be happy with it.
Yeah. All right. Two more things here. The NHL is encouraging teams to play in color jersey games against each other. So basically, both their home jerseys. So, like, let's say, for example, a good one is the Red Wings home and the Rangers home. They're encouraging more of that. And I love that. I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, the colored jerseys are some of the better ones anyways, right? I honestly, well, other than my Jets white, I guess. I like the Jets white. They're one of the few jerseys where it's white. I prefer the white jersey a little bit more. But I like the color on color idea concept. Sometimes it just works, right? Like, especially with vintage jerseys too, like that Rangers Detroit matchup, just the jerseys themselves. Like, the hockey game could have been 1-0 that went into a crappy shootout, and I would have been like, man, that was cool, right? Like, it's cool. It's cool. Fans love it, right? You got to do stuff for the fans sometimes.
I agree. I think it doesn't work for everything. Like, we can't do Carolina Detroit. Like, I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
No, you can't do it for all
You could
of
do black. You could do like a Carolina black versus Detroit red. Yeah. You could try that. I don't know.
I mean, like, what I would love to see, like a Toronto Montreal where they're wearing the blue and the red. I think that'd be great. Mm-hmm. Or like maybe even like a Winnipeg Minnesota would be kind of cool. You know, those two teams, of course. Like, I think almost any combination would be good. Just like not the same color, obviously. Like San Jose, Dallas wouldn't work. I mean, San Jose is teal, but
it's too close. You can't really do it.
One more thing before we wrap up. So we got a video released to us on Friday of the quick peek at the main Olympic arena in Milan and how it is currently going right now. Here's the video. Sorry, I'll turn the volume down. Carter, what are your thoughts when you see this video?
Yeah.
The Olympics are in like less than 60 days, by the way.
We're under 2 months away. It's getting nerve-wracking, but I mean, they said it's going to be finished like 3 days before.
I think that's crazy.
For
people, are we serious right now? 3 days?
Yeah, like I know how, like, because obviously, you know, I work on like ice surfaces all day. Yeah. I work in a rink, and to get the ice good, it takes a lot of work. And with NHL guys and top level pros skating on these ice surfaces for 3 or 4 games a day. Yeah. These ice sheets are going to be fucked. Like, it's bad. They will have to do maintenance on it all night. It is going to be bad. The quality of ice is going to be horrible. I'm going to tell you this now. It's not going to be good. I don't trust it one bit, especially with the fact that, like, they can't continue to test it and tweak things. They have 3 days to test it and tweak things. 3. That's it.
Also, like, you would think, like, maybe the players would get a chance to, like, practice on it maybe a little bit. Like, sometimes you see, like, you notice how, like, you know, some days they'll have, like, practice. They're going to have no time for that. Like, they're going to have no time for that. What the hell, people? Like, this is going to be, like, the last time they go to the Olympics, I have a feeling. Yeah. Sadly. Like, unless if it's in North America and it's, like, actually in a place where, like, they can go out and monitor it and not in Europe where these people just suck. Yeah. I don't know.
It's more so the fact that it's in Italy, right? Like, I feel like if this was in, like, Sweden, Finland,
Yeah,
all those places, right? It's different, but because
Italy's not
Milan's not really known for like winter climate and hockey, right? So it's kind of hard for them. They kind of probably underestimated it a bit, and it's gonna hurt the Olympics. So we'll see what happens there. But we need best on best, and so we'll see what happens.
And also, I do want to say, anybody who's saying that, oh, let's just move it to North America, you are the dumbest humans alive. You are the dumbest.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Yes. Why? This is not 4 nations. Like, you can't just do that.
This is not the NHL's tournament that they're putting on. First of all, this is the Olympics.
Yep.
It's either happening in Milan or somewhere around it. It is not coming to North America. That is completely against the point.
Exactly.
So
that will conclude this episode of the NordCast. Carter, prediction for the game tonight between the Jets and Sens. You're going? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, they finally put the first line back, which I've been saying for so long. Every time lines come out, I would send it to the group chat and be like, yeah, I'm pissed off. And then today they finally released the lines, and it's Connor with Scheifele and Velarde, and it's just war is over. So I placed my 1 point bet for the top line. So I think I'm going to say 4-1 for Winnipeg here.
Who's in net for Ottawa? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't. I'll look it up really quick. I know you have to go.
Yeah.
Allmark.
I'm excited. Allmark? Okay. I'm gonna take 4-1. I'm gonna say, yeah. I'm gonna take 4. I'm gonna say Kyle Connor 2 goals.
Oh, buddy. All right, we'll be back on Friday. So 2 episodes again this week. It'll probably be me and Carter again. Jack is out this week. I did want to say, Jack, way to skip out on us, man. Way to skip out on us, dude.
It's okay, though.
Yeah, no. I did want to say congratulations to him and his girlfriend. They're celebrating 3 years this week. That's why he's unavailable. So congratulations to him. I do just want to say I recorded the week that I had my 2-year anniversary. So.
Oh, damn.
Anyway, nah, Jack, I'm kidding, buddy. We love you. Anyway, that'll be it for this episode of the NordCast. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.